When the last carol fades and the frost seals every pane, a different kind of visitor slips from the shadows. Welcome to a night where Christmas cheer gives way to whispered warnings, and two ancient beasts claim the winter air. I am Michelle,
And I am Isaiah.
and this is Shifting Veils, where we talk about the unexplained, possibly paranormal, and always strange.
And if you like that sort of stuff, maybe give us a like, share, and follow. And don't forget, if you have your own spooky story, send us an email. We may feature your story in a future episode.
First, we follow the echoing clatter of iron chains through alpine alleys, where Krampus prowls in tangled fur and curved horns. Beneath the twinkling lights, he listens for the smallest sins, ready to drag the unruly into the dark. Then high in Iceland's snowbound reaches, the Yule Cat pads silently between frozen farmsteads, its lantern eyes scanning for those too idle to earn a simple gift of cloth. Tonight we trace their footsteps through centuries of lore. We'll uncover how Krampus became St. Nicholas's grim companion in snowy villages, and why Iceland's colossal cat remains the stern sentinel of every well-worn sweater. Prepare yourself for creaking doors, distant purrs, and the chill that comes when festive warmth meets an ancient dread. Your holiday story is about to grow a pair of horns and a set of claws. Beneath the softly falling snow and the twinkle of festive lights, something ancient stirs. A chill wind carries the rasp of chains and an unmistakable rustle of coarse, matted fur. This is no gentle visitor bearing gifts. This is Krampus, horned, hoofed, and hungry for the fearful. His story stretches back over a millennium, threading through pagan rites, medieval manuscripts, and modern horror films, reminding us that for every ember of holiday warmth, there lingers a flicker of darkness. Long before St. Nicholas rode across alpine valleys on a white steed, villagers marked the year's darkest nights with rituals invoking both light and shadow. In the high passes between Austria, Bavaria, and Slovenia, locals donned masks carved from wood and tangled goat hides, transforming themselves into wild spirits known as the Perchant. Is that how you say it? Perchton? Perchton? Among these figures, Krampus was the most feared, a demon of winter's harshness, unleashed to punish greed, dishonesty, and disobedience. It's much easier to write this stuff than to actually know how to pronounce it. I write it, and sometimes I think, okay, whenever we read this, I need to know how to pronounce this, and I catch most stuff, but I think sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, I'll be able to figure it out whenever we're reading it, and then I get insecure when it comes out of my face. Perchant. I'm not real sure. I'm sure somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they will though. Nobody has yet. I'm always expecting it in the comments or an email where someone would be like, "Hey, episode was great, but you don't know how to pronounce shit." No one ever says anything, so I'm just gonna say that I'm right, okay? Unless someone calls me out, I know what I'm doing. Pretending to, anyway. The earliest oral references date as far back as the 12th century, though no formal text survives from this era. Masks were often painted in garish reds and blacks, eyes rimmed in brass or horn, a nod to the creature's fiery temper and infernal gaze.
There you
The
go.
word
It's garish.
Garish. Thank you. See, I don't have a problem with being corrected. I like learning. Asshole. I'm kidding. I say shit wrong all the time. No, please do correct me if I am wrong, because I really do want to know how to really, do this right. So, yeah, garish. Forgive me. The word Krampus derives from Old High German Krampen, meaning... Are you going out tonight? No, man, I'd be cramping. Sorry. So Krampus is an old High German word, Krampen. meaning claw or hook.
Cramping my style.
Even so, his limbs extend far beyond mere talons. Folklore describes him with a goat-like snout and forked tongue that flicks like a serpent's. Long curving horns said to have been stolen from mountainous satyrs. Did I say that right? Satyrs. Thank you. I know I was doing it wrong. Okay, I did that on purpose.
Satires.
Chains and bells, symbols of captivity, rattled to mimic the clamor of the underworld. A wicker basket or burlap sack strapped to his back, large enough to haul away particularly naughty children.
It'd probably be easier if you just used cages.
Probably.
By the 17th century, court records mention masked youths parading through Salzburg's streets, brandishing birch rods to whisper warnings in the ears of sinners. These early accounts mark Krampus's first step from oral tradition into written history. As Christianity swept across the Alps, churchmen recognized the power of old customs to bind communities together. Rather than abolish them outright, they grafted Krampus onto the feast of St. Nicholas. By the late Middle Ages, December 5th had become Krampusnacht.
I'm glad you got that one, because I totally would have not said that right.
A night when masked men roamed hamlets, clanking iron chains and flogging the air with birch switches. Go get the switch.
Roam the hamlet. What the fuck is that?
Roam the hamlet. You know, you gotta roam it.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm just repeating what I read.
My grandmother used to send us out to the backyard to get switches if we were bad.
I thought you were going to say she sent you out back to roam the hamlet.
We'd have to roam the hamlets to get the switches, yes. Their mission was twofold: to remind children of moral boundaries and to rein in the season's frenzied mirth. Legend holds that St. Nicholas and Krampus often toured side by side, one with a staff of blessing, the other with a bass guitar.
That is not what that says.
One with a staff of blessing, the other with a bundle of birch rods. In some villages, children left out shoes on the eve of the 5th, finding small treats from Nicholas in the morning or a bit of soot and charcoal from his darker companion. By the 18th and 19th centuries, both church authorities and imperial edicts sought to curb Krampusnacht's first riotous excesses. Processions were banned in 1780 by Emperor Joseph II, deemed too pagan and disorderly. Too pagan. Why don't you just not steal from the other? Anyway, yet the tradition survived clandestinely, concealed in private farmsteads and tucked away taverns. In the late 19th century, publishers in Vienna began printing postcards depicting Krampus in grotesque caricature, sometimes bound with rope or standing over a trembling child. These cards became a popular seasonal greeting across Europe, spreading his image far beyond alpine slopes. Today, Krampus prowls both screen and street corner. The 2015 dark comedy Krampus rekindled international curiosity, reimagining the horned terror for new audiences. Meanwhile, villages across Austria, Germany, and Slovenia host annual Krampus runs where costumed revelers sprint through frozen alleyways, chasing onlookers beneath flickering torches. In the United States, craft breweries and holiday markets stage Krampus events, complete with horror-themed cocktails and artisan masks sculpted by European artisans. Folklorists note that immigrant communities have adapted the legend, blending Krampus with local spirits of winter, such as the Cornish pixie or American jack-o'-lantern traditions. Krampus's chilling visage taps into a timeless human truth. Joy and dread are inseparable. He reminds us that boundaries, moral, societal, and personal, are upheld not only by rewards, but by consequences. In an era of hyper-commercialized holidays, the horned figure of Krampus offers an unsettling counter-narrative, a call to confront the darker threads woven through every tapestry of light. Whether you glimpse him at the edge of a town square, in the frame of a grainy postcard, or on a flickering cinema screen, Krampus persists. He is folklore's reminder that beneath every heartwarming carol and glowing candle, something darker watches and waits. In every season of celebration, the shadows whisper their own stories. Krampus has listened for centuries, and in his claws, he carries our oldest fears.
As Krampus fades back into the shadows, the long winter night still brims with phantom figures and ancient rites. Across Europe and beyond, folk traditions intertwine festivity with fear, reminding us that every fireside glow casts an unseen flicker of dread. In the deep midwinter gloom of Icelandic nights, an enormous feline prowls the countryside, its eyes glowing like lanterns against the snow. Known as the Yule Cat, this creature is no cuddly house pet, but a harbinger of fate for those who fail its strange test. According to lore, any farmhand or child who does not receive a new set of clothes before Christmas risks becoming the cat's next midnight prey. The legend of the Yule Cat emerged in rural Iceland centuries ago, woven into the fabric of harsh winters and tight-knit farm communities. Local storytellers called it the Christmas Cat, a title that belies its feral hunger. Many scholars trace the cat's roots to Norse imagery of large spectral beasts that marked the changing of seasons and underscored the dangers of idleness and, is it agrarian life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll ask you because you're the expert.
I'm not.
Oh. At its core, the Yule Cat served a practical role. It encouraged workers to finish processing wool before the holidays. Farms competed to complete their shearing and spinning by December's end. Those who met the deadline were rewarded with new garments, sparing them the cat's wrath. Stragglers left without fresh clothing risked being devoured under the cover of night. This grim incentive ensured that every household pulled together to meet communal goals before winter's deepest chill set in. Accounts vary, but certain features appear time and again. A colossal size, sometimes described as large enough to swallow a child whole, fur so dark it merges with shadows, rendering it nearly invisible on moonless nights. I have a cat like that. I cannot see him when I'm walking down my dark halls. I stepped on him the other day.
So we call those void cats.
He's definitely a void cat. Claws sharp enough to slice through wool and hide alike. A low rumbling purr that can be heard echoing across frozen fields. Villagers claimed that a single glimpse of those glowing eyes was enough to freeze the blood of even the bravest shepherd.
The Yule Cat is inseparable from another set of Icelandic figures, the 13 Yule Lads, mischievous trolls who arrive one by one in the days before Christmas. Each lad carries distinct habits, from stolen sausages to door-slamming pranks. It's a good thing you didn't have a lad show up today since you had a sausage sandwich.
Sausage. Sausage sandwich.
Sausage. As gifts of new clothes are left for children, the cat stands as the silent sentinel of fairness. Only those who work and prepare may sleep safely. In some tales, the cat is said to consume exhaustively those who hoard or deceive, highlighting values of community labor and honesty. Though few believe in a literal man-eating cat today, its spirit endures in Icelandic holiday culture. Children still place shoes by the door for the Yule Lads, hoping for treats and dodging the cat's claws. Holiday markets feature cat imagery on postcards, greeting cards, and decorations. Tour guides recount Yule Cat stories beneath the northern lights, blending folklore with tourism. Each retelling keeps alive a sense of wonder and a faint undercurrent of fear, reminding listeners of old world stakes in the modern age. Beneath laughter and gift giving, the Yule Cat reminds us that every celebration carries a shadow. Its legend warns against complacency and urges a respect for the labors that sustain community life. In the silent hours before Christmas dawn, when the wind shrieks across icy fjords, one might still glimpse its silhouette, an enormous spectral cat weaving through the drifts, searching for those left undone. Whether seen as a cautionary fable or a beloved myth, the Yule Cat endures. Its colossal paws trace a path from ancient farms to contemporary hearths, asking each of us, have we prepared well enough to face the winter's deep and hungry dark?
And so, as the last echoes of sleigh bells fade into the night and the glow of tinsel dimly flickers in our memories, we leave the world of Krampus and the Yule Cat behind, at least until next winter's dark arrives. We've traced the jagged claws of Krampus through Alpine village processions, felt the weight of his chains on frosty December eves, and watched him slip back into centuries-old shadows. We've stared, too, into the molten eyes of Iceland's Yule Cat, that colossal beast prowling snowy fields to test our industry and our worthiness for warmth and clothing. Two creatures, born of the same impulse, to remind us that even the brightest hearth can cast the deepest shadow. Am I forgetting what was it, the 13 Yule Lads? Is
Use
that
the
what they were
13
called?
Yule Lads, yeah.
Okay. I can't really say three creatures because it's like 15 creatures because there's 13 of them and then the Yule Cat and then Krampus.
Yeah, that's true.
So 15 creatures born of the same impulse to remind us that even the brightest hearth can cast the deepest shadow. Tonight they stand as sentinels on either side of our festive revelry. Krampus warns us that kindness and generosity must be matched by accountability. No small courtesy goes without notice. The Yule Cat demands our labor and our care for community, lest we be consumed by neglect. I don't know what the 13 Yule Lads teach us or remind us of. I guess not much because I didn't include them in this closing. Between their stories lies an invitation to celebrate not only joy, but the edges of our comfort, the limits of our compassion, and the rituals that bind us through hardship as surely as they light our way through winter's night.
Maybe they are the hardships because they're
Maybe.
they're doing these different distinct habits, and the only habits that were listed were bad habits. They're like,
They stole sausages.
yeah, they're stealing your sausages.
And
You
why
can't
did
have
they
your
leave the
sausage
shoes
sandwich.
out? Were they gonna take the shoes when they stole the sausages? I'm
Maybe they're gonna
confused
put the
why.
sausages in the shoes.
They're gonna steal the sausages and put them in the kids' shoes.
And then when the kids open their door up and find their shoes, they're gonna have sausages for breakfast.
Ugh. Okay. So before you tuck yourself in by the fire, take a moment in the hush that follows the carol's close. Consider the shadows that lurk beneath your own holiday traditions. Light a candle for kindness. Hang a sprig of holly for hospitality. And if you dare, leave out a single sock. Not for Santa.
For Dobby.
For the sausage they're gonna stuff in your shoe.
You don't start the habit of putting your sausage in a sock, okay?
Yeah. Might be too late for some of you guys.
Well,
But
just
as
remember
homage
to change it up once in a while.
as homage to those ancient forces that balance mirth with mystery. Let it remind you that stories like Krampus's and the Yule Cats endure because they speak to something older than gift giving, the human need to confront our fears, to protect one another, and to emerge each season a little more whole. Thank you for joining us here on Shifting Veils, on this journey through the chilling corners of Christmas lore. May your season be bright with laughter, rich in stories, and tempered by the respectful hush of ancient shadows. Until we meet again, may your wreaths shimmer, your hearth glow, and your spirit find peace in the dance of light and shadow.